Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's Life Conversations with a Twist. I am so hyped for this conversation. You are like the one person that I've been like, I need her on my podcast. I need her on my podcast. Heather is I know her through as a coach at Orange Theory, and everyone knows like how much I love Orange Theory. And so I'm really excited to dive into your story about how your involvement and how you got to where you are today, and then all about Orange Theory. And that's why I'm wearing orange today.
I like it. See, yes, I'm wearing my Orange Theory sweatshirt as well. It's not orange, but it's still branded.
It's still branded. I love it.
Still
Well,
branded.
welcome. Tell everyone a little bit about who you are, kind of what you do now in your role, maybe a little bit of like where you live and those kinds of fun things.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, I am Heather. I live in Santa Rosa, so Sonoma County, and I currently work for Orange Theory headquarters. So, and that's actually based out of Boca Raton, Florida. So I'm a remote employee for them. I travel quite a bit for work. About 50%, if not more, of my job currently is travel. And when I'm not traveling on the road, I'm actually still coaching at my home studio in Rohnert Park. And that's where Heather and I met. So yeah, my job is a little bit different now. So it's kind of like you want to think like train the trainer almost. I go into studios, and now I focus on more of like a business consulting role. So I look at their fitness business as a whole, the coach's quality. I look at the studio itself, like are they the upkeep, I guess. Just making sure, like, as far as what Orange Theory is looking for, as far as our brand standard, we're providing that to the members. And then if the owner needs support in different areas, that's where I kind of come in. So it could be educating coaches. It could be just observing their operations daily and just giving my guidance after 8 years. I've been with Orange Theory for 8 years, by the way. So I just kind of give my guidance and the knowledge that I have, and hopefully it's helpful to them to build their business and get more members and build the Orange community.
So Orange Theory is a franchise.
It can be, yes. So there are different layers to it. We do have some corporately owned studios out in Florida that are closer to headquarters. Most of them are owned by franchisees. They can own one, they can own seven. It's kind of however they decide to license that. And then we also have like private equity groups that own lots of studios across state lines. So there's different levels to how Orange Theories are owned.
Oh, that's so interesting. I started my Orange Theory in Rona Park. We just recently moved, so now I've had to switch studios. And I mean, Santa Rosa's great, but it's not Rona Park. I can tell you that. I miss my coaches, and I miss like the girls that I used to work out with. But there's something about Orange Theory that I think I was there probably a year, and then I got pregnant, and then then COVID happened and I just didn't go back. But I
Yes.
used to go 5 a.m. and you were our coach. And I have to say, like, having a motivating coach that's like you look forward to like going every single 5 a.m. morning to be there. Like I just have to say, as a member and as someone in the classes, like that was something that was really important to me. So
I love that. And I think that's really important. That's My fitness journey kind of started that way. It started with a really great instructor, which is what made me, if we wanted to go like real deep on this, I truly, for probably majority of my life, never really knew what I wanted to do.
mhm.
I kind of feel passionate about a lot of things. And I think Orange Theory allows me to dabble in all of the things that I'm passionate about. So not even just fitness, like, customer service, in sales, in boutique, like branding, all of that stuff I really love. So it actually allows me to do a little of everything. Um, but yeah, so when I started, I can totally relate to that. My health journey started, I was in a really poor shape. I was in a unhappy marriage. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I had worked in retail for a really, really long time. And in fact, like one of my mentors that I grew up just really admiring how she operated is one of your friends as well, Alicia.
Yeah.
Um, and I learned a lot from her. And then I went on to a different brand when it came to retail, and I wasn't happy. So unhappy at work, unhappy in marriage. You know how that goes. It takes a toll on your health. So I ended up finding myself really, really overweight, and I wanted to get out of retail. And I decided I'm going to go back to school full time. That's kind of what I thought. And in order to do that, I really couldn't work because I was trying to go into radiology at the time. I've always been fascinated by the human body. So like I was a total science geek in school. Like I even transferred high schools to a more like science driven school than the other side. I came from Janesville, Wisconsin. There were
I was
two
gonna
high
ask
schools.
you. Okay.
Yeah. Janesville, Wisconsin, two high schools. One was more science and tech, one was more agriculture. So
Mhm.
I asked to go to the side. I had to like sign a whole petition. My family had to ask permission for me to go there. But anyway, so yeah, I've always loved the human body. Even when I was going to college initially, right out of high school, everything was science based. My mom thought I was going to be a nurse. I didn't feel connected to nursing. So I stepped away from that. And then I was like, well, maybe like I thought about phlebotomy. I thought about all these different avenues when it came to health science. Never though did I imagine that I was going to be doing what I'm doing now.
Isn't it
Um,
funny how like our path?
I
I feel like and everyone's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to school, and then I'm gonna go to college, and then I'm gonna do the things,"
yeah,
and no one ever does the things that they went to school for because
not
their
even
path
close.
like changes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. Not even close. First of all, like oddly, I have like this major fear of public speaking, which you would never guess because as a coach, that's what we do hour after hour. And now it's probably about 90% of my job, but I don't know. So I started to like take group fitness classes like at the community center. Like mind you, I was really overweight at the time. Like my gosh, I I don't even it's really hard for me to recall that time in my life. Like
yeah.
but I decided I was going to start taking group fitness classes at the community center and I realized I really liked the group environment. I started with like Zumba and like cardio kickboxing. And I kind of liked the performance aspect of it. Even though I didn't know half the steps half the time, I still liked it. And I liked the group environment. Like it just for me, that was a very motivating space. And even though like there's this fear, like, oh God, is everybody watching me? Am I doing what everybody else is doing? Like kind of it didn't really matter at the same time because I was having so much fun. So I started doing that. And then out of like left field, I don't really even remember how I decided I wanted to try pole dance fitness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to do it. I remember going to the studio at the time. It was located in Rohnert Park,
I think
and
I mean I've been there a couple times. Did you
yeah,
coach? Like you were like the instructor?
just wait till that part comes down the road. So yes, I watched class. I decided to take class finally. I had to watch first. I was like, I don't know if I belong here. And again, the instructors were amazing. Like they were so friendly and so encouraging and very inclusive. Like, I when you think now, if you look at like, you just Google pole dance fitness, a lot of them are like actual athletes. Like they're ripped and they're flexible. And I was none of those things, obviously. I just wanted to have a good time in a group environment. I wanted to do something that was like out of the ordinary. And I wanted to kind of feel sexy because that's
Yeah.
something like I hadn't felt in a very long time.
Yes.
So, yes, I started taking classes regularly. At a certain point, the studio owner decided she wanted to get out of the business, and my heart like felt like it was breaking physically in my body because I'd found something that I liked, um, a place that I felt safe. And I do love music. When I was in high school, I did dance, but after that in adulthood, I didn't follow it. So it allowed me to like get back into that. Um, so I was like breaking inside. And at the time, the one of the other employees there was like, would you want to like go into business and do this together? And I was like, I guess. you know, but I mean, I really did. I had like, I'm telling you, the journey is like so long and there's so many details, but at a certain point I did like work my way up from classes. They asked me if I wanted to be an instructor. Mind you, I have zero technical training as a group fitness instructor. And I was like, sure, yes, let's do that. But I was that person in class. Like I got to know everybody. I was friendly with everybody. So it felt natural, like the natural progression almost. Um, and I felt like I did all right at it. I can teach people this.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we decided to go into business and that's what I did for a lot of years. It was called Eye Candy in Rohnert Park. And
Been to a
Yeah.
couple bachelorette parties there.
Yes. Oh my God, those were so fun for
So
me. I
fun.
love that. And again, that's part for me that like dips into like the customer service part, like just being able to provide that moment for people where it's to them, it's something so memorable and they're having a great time. And really, that's what matters when it comes to fitness, in my opinion. Like you have to enjoy it. So I thought, gosh, I loved the bachelorette parties. They were so much
Every
fun.
time, like, because you like learn like a dance to a song, and
Yes.
every time I hear the song, I think back to that day, and like we had these like crazy ass heels on
Did
and
you have, yes.
pole
Did we
dancing.
give you a boa? Did we give you the boas and stuff? Oh my God.
It was so fun. So yes, you did create a memory because I still remember every time I hear the song, I'm like, oh, the pole dancing.
You're like ready to bust a move. I love it. Um, so yeah, that's what happened. And at the time I was teaching like all kinds of stuff. I was teaching, we grew that studio from just pole dance fitness. I went and officially got all my certifications to be a group fitness instructor. Because
That
let
was
me
my
tell
question.
you,
Like, do you have to like go through? Oh, you have to. I'm assuming you have to go through something, and then I'm like, well, what is? I'm sure Orange Theory has like some kind of thing,
yes,
program, or something that they have to go to.
correct.
Yeah,
I mean, with eye candy, no. There was no requirement, just can you dance and are you friendly? And yeah. So, but I wanted the business to grow. I wanted to be able to offer women more than just pole dance fitness because I get it. Like, that's not for everyone.
yeah.
And there are some people that are like, maybe it's for me. I'm just not ready for that yet. So I did. I went and I got my group fitness certification. And then through another brand called Beachbody, I got certified to teach like cardio kickboxing, a Pilates yoga fusion type of class, a more strength focused class. Like you probably heard of all those brand names, P90X, Insanity. That's the type of stuff I learned. And then we started bringing that to the studio. So I was teaching all different kinds of classes, not just pole dance fitness to try to get the body conditioned. And I felt like that added major value to what we were offering women at our studio. So fast forward, like I'm teaching all these things, but I'm like, my gosh, I really need to do something for me. Like I haven't, when you're teaching, it's especially at the time, like if you know those group fitness classes, you're teaching it in real time with them and you're physically moving and burning like 700 calories or whatever, but it's not really for you, it's for them. So I'm like, I needed to find something kind of for me. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've never in my life ran. Like I avoided it in PE like the plague.
Everybody.
Yeah. But I used to live over by Cottingtown where the Santa Rosa location is, and I would walk by it and I'm like, oh, there's treadmills in there. Like, but the music was loud and everybody looked like they were having a great time, and I like to exercise. So I was like, well, I guess I'll give it a try. And I walked in and it was like an experience that I'd never had walking into like a fitness facility. It wasn't, here's a bunch of paper, please fill this out. Like the person that greeted me actually sat down with me and asked me questions about my goals. And that was already different for me. Like, oh, you're going to actually ask me this and have a conversation about what I'm looking for. And that already was different. Then everybody for the class started to come in and it was super lively. It was chatty. The coach greeted me and I got like a mini private tour of the studio. And I was honest with her. I was like, look, I don't run. I've never really ran. And she just kind of like smiled and she's like, well, you'll probably do it today. I'm like, okay, well, here we go. And I fell in love with it. I had no idea what was going on that entire hour. I knew nothing about what she was saying. Um, but I had a great time. She made me feel comfortable. The environment made me feel comfortable. Um, we have our data that happens in real time. I didn't know what any of that meant at the time. I just knew I was earning points and I thought I was winning because I had like 40 of them by the end of the class. I'm like, I am working harder than everyone in here. I am winning. Needless to say.
Let's talk about that because
Okay.
I want people to know what Orange Theory is about. I'm with you. Like the first class, you're just like,
What is happening?
whoa. And I'm like, I always tell people when they come, I'm like, you have to come a second time because the first time it's like, what? Like you're trying
Yeah.
to, then you get to the second one, and then you're like, oh, and you settle in and you're like, okay, I can actually enjoy this. But like, what is the concept behind Orange Theory? And like, what is up with the points and slot points and all that?
Oh, let me give it to you. All right. So it's heart rate based interval training. Everything we do and the way the workout is designed is around heart rate response. So, yes, when you come to take a class, either you will have your own or we'll give you one complimentary to try what we call an OTB wearable. And that's how we track your data. And that data is all connected to your app. So you'll actually get all of the data afterwards. On top of that, the data is smart. So, something that's changed for us is after someone's first 5 classes, it'll actually adjust your heart rate zones in order for us to figure out your points and where you should work optimally. And it customizes it to you based on what we have found about you.
Is that why I can't get splat points anymore?
Yes, Heather, because you need it to, it's telling you that you are fit enough that you can work harder.
I'm always like, I'm in a group text with the girls from the 6 a.m. class in Rona Park. Still, I'm like, I want to be on it. And I'm like, literally, I cannot get it. Like, when I get spot points, they're like, oh, that was a good workout for you. I'm like, I know. Why can't I get spot points anymore?
I mean, it's not meant to be impossible, but right, like when you think just like scientifically, heart rate, your max heart rate, there's like this generic formula out there. It's like 220, like minus your age or something like that. But as you know, that's kind of blanket. Like we're all so different. Our metabolism is different. Your resting heart rate is different. You could be the same age, same weight, same gender as someone else, but your heart rate is going to be so different than someone else's. So our data tries to customize it to you after learning enough about you to know where, this person's optimal zones in order to get into a higher heart rate is this instead of this versus what that blanket algorithm said. So, yes,
Dang it.
it does make it harder for you at a certain point because it's trying to encourage you also to work a little bit harder. Yes.
Well, I do on the weight floor. Like, I'm definitely lifting heavier weights and I'm starting to run again because what I do enjoy about Santa Rosa is a 3G class and I like the 3G over the 2G because it's less time on the treadmill.
Yeah.
And because
That's
I
cool.
don't like running
Yeah.
either, but I've been pushing myself to run. And then that's when I get the splat points. So I know.
Yeah, I bet you anybody that's listening to this, they're already hearing language that they're like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it literally is like it's a whole different language. Once you get inside the orange bubble, like there is a language, but you learn it. So for anybody that might listen to this, that they're nervous about it, just know like the first 3 to 5 classes, you might feel a little lost. And that is truly, truly okay. It is our job as coaches, though, to check in with you, especially in those first 5 classes, to make sure one, we're answering your questions because you're going to have them. And that's okay to have a ton of questions. Um, and to make sure that you are learning it as you go. But I mean, Heather, like now you're like tuned in. You hear words and you know exactly what to do. It takes a little time though
Yeah,
to get that.
it does. My best friend is she just signed up in Santa Rosa, so it's been fun to like be along that journey with her. But then she just encouraged her husband, and he started last week, and he was like, "Oh, that was harder than I thought it was gonna be." I was like, "Yeah, no shit." I was like, "It really is hard."
It is. It's a tough workout, but the beauty of it is it can be really whatever you want it to be that day.
Yeah.
The coach is there, the workout is designed, but we really try to check in with everybody that comes to class. Like if you're trying to take it easy today and you let the coach know that, we respect that. And we try to help you at least then. We'll check in with you if we think you're going too hard now, because you just told us you want to take it easy. Or if I can tell that you're feeling a little competitive, I'm going to give you I'm going to push you a little bit. I'm going to push you on the treadmill to give it a little extra gas, might give you a heavier weight or two on the floor,
Yep.
but that's what we're there to do. So
I actually like that. Like I've seen coaches that don't do that. I actually like the coaches that do because it's like they see you and they're like,
yes,
I can see you can do more. And so that's I think something that I really truly love about it. Even though there's however many people, there's 12 in a station, so there's a lot of people. But the fact that they notice you and they're like, I think you need a heavier weight. I'm like, oh, okay, thank
yes. And that's a big deal too, right? Like the group classes, particularly those bigger 3G classes, there's a lot of people that we have to manage and a lot of things like we have to keep track of. But yes, like you have a good coach, they're going to be able to do that and more. They're going to be able to see each person as an individual and know how to coach them to get the best results for that day because every day is so different,
you. Okay,
Um,
so I mean, there's so much we could talk about.
I
Like
know
the
so
brain
much.
is exploding. Okay, let's go back real quick to the splat points. Do give us we talked about heart rate, but like, what is the goal of that?
Got it. Okay,
And then
splat.
then I want to come back to something else too.
Okay, great. Splat points. Yes, we love splat points. So the goal in your classes is to try to get 12 to 20. In fact, the algorithm that actually like sets your max heart rate is designed to keep you inside of 12 to 20, because that's really where, if your body gets those 12 to 20 points, and I'll talk about what points are in a minute, your body will burn extra calories for up to 24 hours after the workout. Imagine like a car going on like a long drive and it gets really hot, but then it takes a little time, even once the car has stopped, for it to cool down. It's kind of that cooling down period, but your body is still kind of warm. It's gonna taper off slowly. So you burn extra calories basically over the next day if you're able to get those 12 to 20 points. Now, the points are based on how many minutes you spend in our orange and red zones. There are 5 zones. You've got gray, blue, green, orange, and red. Orange and red being kind of like your anaerobic zones. Think of it that way. So we're asking you to work about 12 to 20 minutes anaerobically in the 1 hour. Now, like I said before, my first class was 40 points, right? And I know that there have been times you've probably gotten well over 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the idea is we don't want people to think that more is better, because sometimes more is just more.
Mhm.
And there will be days where the template design is going to be really high intensity and you probably will get outside that 20, but not every day is meant for you to work anaerobically at that high of a level,
Mhm.
right? Like science has proven that optimally, if you work at least 12 minutes in your anaerobic zone, your body's going to kick into overdrive and you're going to burn some extra calories over the next day. So 12 is really where we want to live.
Mhm.
Now, that also being said, there are some days where the design of the workout, maybe there's a lot of transitioning around the room. There's a lot of walking recovery. We might do a lot of core work where we're laying on our backs and our heart rate just doesn't elevate when we're laying down. There might be days where we don't get 12. Like today, I actually did a 90-minute class today and I got 9.
Mm.
So I didn't even get the 12. However, it was a great workout. I burned a ton of calories. I feel great, right? Like it's just meant to be there as a marker for you to give yourself something to work toward every single class. Are you working toward the 12? And some days that's not the case.
Yeah.
Like some days I go in and I'm like, I'm just literally trying to survive today. I am tired, but I want to be around my people. So I'll go and I'll take it easy and I won't get like any splat points. And that's also okay.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's I want to come back to just like mental health and working out and stuff too. But
yes.
talk a little bit about, if someone doesn't know like what the program is as far as like tread, row, floor, and kind of like what those workouts tend to look like.
Got it. Yeah.
I do have to say to somebody who is listening and hasn't been, literally, this is why I love it. I have no idea what my workout's going to be. I show up and they're like, cool, well, you're going to row for 14 minutes straight. And I just am like, oh, and you want to run out of the room, but you can't, you're there. So
And they're already. That
that's
I
what I
thought
really love
was,
about it, is like you have no idea. Well, supposedly you can hear about it, but I don't want to know. I want to show up and I want to just, you tell me what to do.
I mean, major, seriously, it's probably one of the curses of being a coach, because I agree with you. I loved, before I became a coach and I was a member, um, I loved not knowing,
Yeah.
because I can very easily talk myself out of something that I do not want to do, like rowing for 14 minutes,
I hate
right?
rowing.
So, but you know that you need to be doing those things. There's a reason that it's challenging for you and you should be doing them. So, yes, we design our workouts on 3 different physical emphasis: endurance, strength, and power. So, each of those things have a different meaning in the workout. You want to think endurance just like an endurance run, long periods of time, sustained effort. Then you got strength. For us at Orange Theory, oftentimes that means on our treadmills, we'll go uphill to fight a little bit of force. And on the floor, we try to go a little heavier. And then power, that's all explosive. You think burpees, you think sprints, you think just that type of stuff when it comes to power. And we blend those sometimes, but every day looks a little different. So each part of our workout, the treadmill, the rower, and our weight floor, will have one of those emphasis. So it could be power training on the treadmill, strength training on the rower, and a more endurance muscular training on the floor. And then tomorrow it could be totally different.
Mhm.
It could be even like on the treadmill, you're going to see actually all of those things, endurance, strength, and power. So that's kind of the cool thing about Orange Theory is you walk into the same room, the same equipment, same people, and maybe even the same coach, but it is always going to be a different workout. It will never feel the same. And
And the
even
playlist is always different too.
the playlist should be different. I'm a music, I mean, we talked about it. I used to dance, musically driven person. We do as coaches really try hard to match the tempo and intensity of the music to what is going on. So if you ever now pay attention, strength days, hopefully the coach is picking maybe something that's a little bit slower because it's not about speed, it's about going heavy. On endurance days, it's probably something more steady, maybe even the music you can kind of sing to, because let's face it, when we're running for long distances, we want to hear music we like, right? And we can sing along to and kind of forget what we're doing. And then power days, usually just fast paced stuff, just stuff that makes you want to go fast, right? I don't know.
Is there a way to get the playlist? I don't know if I think I don't know if I've ever asked. Like sometimes I leave and I'm like, I want that playlist
That
in my
was
car.
so good. We use a special app that we partner with. You can get the app. Orange Theory has its own like from that brand, but the app that you can download is called Fit Radio because I had it for a long time before I Orange Theory decided to go with Fit Radio. And they all those playlists are expertly mixed. It'll tell you exactly like what the beats per minute are if you want to like use that for a running cadence outside. It has it by genre. It's great. Yeah. So Fit Radio
Love it.
is
Okay.
what we use.
Had to ask that question.
Yes, that's the secret in our sauce. It's great though.
Yeah, I love power days. Power days are definitely my favorite because I love an all out like those when
Yes.
especially when there's like 14 all outs. I'm like, bring it. Like that's what I
Yes.
love is like just going really hard and then like being able to walk for a minute.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you.
So you were a member of Orange Theory,
Yep.
and then how long were you a member till you're like, I want to get on this mic and I want to motivate everybody else? Or like what was your reasoning why you wanted to
Oh,
be a coach?
man, probably like only 4 months because I joined at the Santa Rosa location. They knew what I did for a living, so they were like, "Do you want to coach?" And I was like, "No," because I really wanted to be my like not work. I still owned eye candy in Roden Park at the time. So I wanted to be my escape. But I ended up finding out just like 2 months later that one was opening in Roder Park, which is like right down the street from where my studio was. So I was like, well, maybe I'll check it out. I walked into their like pre-sale office that they had, and I'm like, I don't really know if I want to do that. I don't know yet. I kind of want to check it out. Like, what does it look like to like get onboarded? And I mean, obviously that was history. I decided they had a corporate trainer come out and they were there for 5 days, and there were a handful of other coach candidates. We had to audition for this job, by the way. I wasn't just given this job. I had to audition for 5 days. Um,
In front
so
of other people.
in front of other people we had to be, and because everything is timed at Orange Theory. So not only is there like brand specific language that we are expected to say, you guys that are listening might not know, you might know because you hear the same stuff kind of all the time, but there is certain things that we had to say at certain times, and it had to be within a certain amount of time. So that was kind of where the audition piece came in, but they wanted to see you be able to do that and show your personality, which is already hard enough. You're like learning all of this new stuff and you still have to be you somehow. Like
I don't know. I mean, I'm always like, I've kind of always been interested. I'm like, I think, because, obviously I do podcasting and I like enjoy like the public speaking side of it. But then I was like, it's hard. You have to time everybody. Everyone's on timing and you have to like call people to,
oh
one, two,
yeah.
three. Like, it's just crazy.
Yes. And I mean, as you know, even with public speaking, for some part of that, and when you're in presentation mode, you have to be somewhat concise,
Yeah.
right? Time is of the essence with everything that you say. So that I noticed that, I mean, there were different elements when it came to the audition part. Like, yes, could you be concise and not minimize your filler words? And then could you be clear? Your instruction has to be clear. Are you also fun and energetic and motivating? Are you also staying on time? Like, it was so much to think about. I mean, I'm pretty sure on day 4 I shed some tears because it was overwhelming. It was
Yeah.
every day for about 8 hours that we were in there, like learning how to coach a class.
Is that how it is now? Like if you become a coach?
Pretty much,
Yeah.
pretty much. It's a not quite as intense as it used to be, but yes, when you get onboarded as a new coach, you have to go through 3 days to four of training and kind of like on the mic practice, but there's really only one audition at the end. Uh, but when you go in to be an Orange Theory coach, you're not guaranteed that job because we look for like a certain type of person. There's got to be like some of that fun performance aspect in somebody when they're going to be a
You want
coach.
people to show up at class and you're like, you want
Yeah,
people to be like, God, I cannot wait to go to Heather's class today, which is why you're
absolutely.
always sold out on your days.
Thank
Because
you.
people want that energy, right? They want that like fun vibe, but which is why most people go to these kind of classes.
Yes,
Um,
exactly. So because I mean, we get a lot of people that are really great knowledge wise, right? They're personal trainers that have been in the industry for many, many years and they've got such great knowledge, but then we get them on a mic and their personality falls flat. Or they can't like see that many people all at once. They get really focused in on one person to help them with their form, which is not a bad thing, but we have to still see upwards of 24 people at a time. And you got to be able to be quick because
mhm.
somebody else also needs your help. Whereas, in the personal training world, you can spend like 20 minutes talking about one move with somebody. Or we get the opposite. Like we'll get somebody that is a group fitness instructor, has been for many years, but then we have to tell them like, okay, we got to squeeze you also in this kind of box because we're a brand. So we need you to like stay in these timelines. There are certain things you have to stay in that really throws them off. So
Mm.
it isn't always easy for us to find that like right fit for a coach, but it is when if you spend the time, if it's something that anybody that might be listening to your podcast wants to do, I do think that anybody can do it. I think it takes work, though. It didn't come naturally to me right away. The performance part did, but the technical pieces didn't. So that was what I truly had to work on as a coach. But if you want it and you actively work on those things, I think anybody can do it. It's a great job too. I mean, I still miss it when I don't. I've been begging the head coach at Runner Park. I'm like, please give me some classes. I want to coach so badly because it's so fun.
When is the Rona Park studio, the new studio opening?
Ooh, the construction has been pushed back a little bit. Initially, it was going to be the first week of October. I think now the aim is for mid-November
Mm-hmm.
before Thanksgiving sometime. I know, I'm very, very excited. It's going to be a bigger space. Obviously, everything is going to get refreshed. We're not adding any additional stations, so we're going to keep the amount of stations that we have in Runner Park, which is 12, so we can add a full class, 24 people. And rather than opt into more equipment for more people to be in there, we're just going to spread things out a little more to give everybody a little more space. So it's going to feel more spacious.
Can some classes be more than 12 per station? I just
Oh
thought
yeah.
that was the normal.
Oh yeah, I mean 12 is kind of the standard, but yeah, some of the bigger locations can have up to 16 stations. So
How many studios are there in the US?
gosh,
If you could general idea.
boy, I don't know. I don't know if I know that number off the top. I mean, we have studios in every single state. We are actually worldwide, so we're international. Yeah. Um gosh, I don't know the number off the top of my head. I feel like I should, but I don't know the number off the
Well,
top of my
that's the one thing I do love being a member. Not that I've taken advantage of it. I tried, but then I ended up not going to the class. Is that if you're traveling and you go to a town that has it, you can go to those studios too. You don't have to stay at your studio. Right?
Yes, it
Yes.
is nice. Yeah, it's a traveling membership, which is great because some branded boutique fitness out there doesn't have that. Um, and for the most part, you can find an Orange Theory pretty much wherever you're going. It's probably like the middle of the US that's our least dense as far as studios. But I mean, you go anywhere West Coast and East Coast and like Carolinas, Midwest. Like I'm talking like, like Montana,
Mhm.
Utah, Wyoming. Those are the states that have very minimal. But yeah, pretty much every state. I mean, in Chicago, if you ever go out there, there's like 60 in one like small, yeah, they have more actually in the Chicago area than we do here in NorCal. Is that wild? It's
That's
wild.
wild. I'm gonna ask a burning question because I've been asked it, and I'm like, I don't know the answer to this. Are they opening one in Windsor?
That I do not know. Because Windsor is actually would be owned by a different ownership group than I work with. I feel like it's been talked about, but I have not heard anything set in stone.
I told my husband, I was like, we own an Orange Theory and I'll run the Windsor one. He's like,
There you
oh my
go.
God, babe, you're losing it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I hate, I mean, it's like 10 minutes for me still, but even still, like it was nice having Roanoke Park so close, but fine, I'll wait.
No, I know. I
Okay.
wish. I don't know.
So you obviously got in a coach because you got in. How long were you a coach and now what are you doing? Because
Gosh,
you're a coach, but you're not coaching
I
as
know. I know. I'm a coach, but I'm not. So I gosh, how long was I a coach? From 2016 up until I got this new role. So all the way even through 2020, which was a wild time to be in group exercise when like you couldn't even breathe on people or be in groups. So like my whole job felt like it was impossible. Um yeah, I coached up until man, when did I get this job? Hang on. Just give me a second. 2022.
oh,
2022
okay.
when I took this role on in October. Yeah, so I'm coming up on my 2-year mark soon here. Um, in this role. But yeah, I was head coach in Runner Park for a really, really long time. Post pandemic, I kind of started dabbling on both sides. So I did both the sales and operations side and then also the fitness side, but I always had like help on the sales side, somebody that kind of like led that team where I still led more of the fitness side. And then, yeah, my role with Orange Theory headquarters out in Boca. We call it the Grove. It's, Orange Groves out in Florida. So
Cute.
it's the fancy name for our
It's cute.
headquarters. It's the Grove. So yes, I work on the franchise relations team, and my current role is now fitness support specialist for
And do
them.
you have a certain territory?
Boy, I wish I did.
I'm like literally every day you're like posting you're in a different city. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, I do. I kind of do. Um, it's a lot though. I span across all four time zones. Um, I go out to North Carolina is probably the furthest out east I go. And then I go as south as New Orleans. And I have like a teeny, teeny, tiny little bit of Texas, like on the very, very bottom of it. Um, it's like the border of Mexico
So
and Texas.
basically but you do have like set studios that are kind of like your
Mine.
studios that you
Yes. Yeah.
oversee. How many people are in your
460.
role?
There are 4 of us
Oh
in my
wow.
role.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we're kind of spread out also. So there's myself and one other person that kind of has like think like west of the Mississippi River. And we
Mm.
break that up amongst each other. And then the other 2 are on the east side. I mean, the east is very, very dense. And you think like New York, Florida. So they break up that side of the US.
Why do you still do this every day?
Oh
Like
my God.
what makes you get up every day? What makes you get up at 4 a.m. to get to a 5 a.m. class to coach? Like
Oh my
what is the
gosh.
secret? Why do you do it?
I don't know. It's literally my soul. It is. It fills me up so much. Rotor Park is a small studio. There aren't that many members. It's a decent sized member base, but it's not like a huge amount. Like there's some studios that have 500, 800 members, and Rotor Park is less than 500. And it just feels like family to me. Um, and I live for those moments. Like even prior to Orange Theory, just when I became a group fitness instructor, I found that that was the thing that I love the most were those moments where you could see somebody realize that they did something that they've never done before, or they did something they truly never thought they could. Um, and sometimes it's even not, it has nothing to do with fitness. It's when people are walking in and you say hello to somebody by name. And maybe it's like one of the only times in their day they're going to get acknowledged like that. Um, I just love getting to know people. And I think that fitness is just kind of the bonus, truthfully. Like for me, it's not just about the workout. I feel like I've built such strong connections with all of the members. Like I'm pretty transparent. Like I don't have any separate social media for work and for myself. Like who I am is who I am, and everybody is more than welcome to share in my life. And I love that members are willing to share that right along, or right back at me. I know when someone's kids' birthdays are. I know when they have the big moments, like we just celebrated two of our members, excuse me, they just went and got married, and we did like a whole like
Mhm.
bachelorette bachelor burn for them, where she even I got a bouquet and she threw a bouquet to the crowd. Like I played their wedding music like for a part of the class. Like it's just stuff like that for me that means a lot, because it's it's community building. I think after the pandemic we needed it more than ever. And I still think we're rebuilding a lot from post 2020. And I do think it's what people come for. Like you said, it's a great workout, but you come for so much more. You come for the coach that remembers who you are and what you did the day before and knows to challenge you a little bit more today, or the coach that just sees you. Or they play the music that like rocks your world at 5 a.m. And they're smiling and they're having a good time. For me, it's just fun. I don't know. For me, it's fun. I don't look at it like work. Like when I do get to coach and I'm laying out my uniform the night before and I'm like bouncing around, I'm like looking at music. Even my boyfriend's like, "You're coaching tomorrow, aren't you? You're like way too excited." I do. I get so pumped about it.
I mean, your energy, I'm telling you, is like, I'm like, damn, I wish I had her energy this early in the morning. But I will
I
get there by the end of the workout.
Yes, yes, but that's not your job to come in with energy. It's our job to
Yeah.
give that to you and let you feed off of that. Like that is the one thing that we're supposed to do for you, so you don't have to worry about coming with energy. I will help you with that.
I always think it's cool to see people's like their fitness journey or their like wellness journey, like
Yes.
even because I think I went longer than just a year. Maybe I was there for like 2 years. I felt like that I was there for a while, but like
Yeah, you
I
were.
ran a half marathon. Like I would never have done that had I not like got my body into shape. And again, like I stopped going because I got pregnant, and then the pandemic happened, and then literally one of my clients was like, "Hey, we're doing a group like thing at Orange. Do you want to come with us?" And I was like, "Sure." I'm like, "I haven't done it in like years, but let's do it." And I was like, I immediately signed back up because there's something about it that just is like just fuels your soul. But it was cool to go back to Roanoke Park and see people who I used to work out with, and like how much like their body has changed,
Yeah,
and like just seeing those, I feel like even just as like member to member is really cool to see.
I agree. And that too, like there's like something timeless about Orange Theory to me. Like there are a lot, right? There are a lot of fitness concepts out there. There are so many things you can choose from to do for workouts. And I'll be honest, like I do a lot. I have like 4 memberships at places. I do Orange Theory. I love to do yoga. That I need that for my body at my age. I need to stay mobile. So not just like train hard every day. I have to think about like mobility a little bit more. Things are not working quite the way they used to in my 20s. So I've got to be mindful of stretching and mobility. So I do that. I dabble in CrossFit. I do a lot of different things. But the one thing that I know, like I could literally do every day is Orange Theory. And I think it's because of the versatility. You get cardio, you get strength. If you stay long enough, you get mobility at the end. But it's kind of what we like to call it is a multivitamin. It has a little bit of everything for you, and not every day is going to be the same. Not every day is a heavy weight day. Not every day is a super long run. Some days it's more about like, yes, let's run fast for a minute and then we're gonna walk. You know what I mean? And even on the rower, some days it's a long rowing day, some days it's not. It's just short burst rowing. So truly it is a workout that is so versatile that you can do it every day. Every day will look different, but you can do it every day. Whereas there are other things out there that I personally can't see myself doing every day and feeling like I got something that was well-rounded.
Hmm.
It's just very well-rounded.
So I do have to say to those people listening who say it's really expensive. Okay, well, we just gave you 5,000 reasons why it's worth it. And I do think it's expensive, but here's what I think is great. It holds you accountable for going. So you're going to spend all this money on a gym membership. Well, you better bet your ass you're going to show up every day or
Well,
whatever. I'm at 5 days a week, but like for me, like that makes the money worth it.
yeah.
And you get charged if you don't show up. And like to
That's a
me,
big
I'm
deal.
like, shit, I don't want to pay this much to like cancel. I better get my butt up and go.
Yes.
So I think that it's worth every single penny. If
And I mean, I always like to, if I'm ever caught on the other side, what we call the other side of the glass in Orange Theory world, because there's the inside where it's the studio, and then the front of the lobby where the sales happen, quote unquote sales. But whenever I am part of that process, when somebody's taken their first class and they're really debating like whether or not they want to do this, and then it's a little sticker shock when you see how much it costs right out of the gates because you're paying for your membership. And then we encourage you to get your own OTB wearable, a burn, in order to track your progress. You've got to remember how often you're probably going to come. Most people come about 3 times a week. So you break that monthly membership into three, and you've got to think when you go and take like a drop-in class anywhere right now, it could be upwards of $30. And
mm,
a class, if you're going 3 times a week with the amount that a membership is equaling out about $16 a class. It's really not that much when you think about it. And most people don't just come 3 times a week. Most of them come. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I go almost damn near 7 days a week. Almost do this every day. Just some days I don't go hard,
yeah.
you know. Um, and there are different types of classes now, which wasn't the case back in the day. Now you can also take like a strictly strength training class where you don't do any cardio. So for anybody that's listening that doesn't want cardio in their life all the time, and you really want to focus on lifting weights and building muscle, which is great, especially depending on however old you are. The older we get, we know that building muscle and bone density is really, really important. So the industry has even shifted away from like tons of cardio to lose weight to more like let's focus on strength. We offer an option for that. Now, if you also are a marathon runner, you're a cardio junkie, like that's where you want to live, and you sometimes just want to run and not be told what to do, we also have a treadmill class where you just are on the treadmill for 50 minutes.
No, thank you.
Bless you. Yes, exactly. I do it once a week. I do it once a week on Sundays. That's the one day I allow myself to do that. But yeah, it's not like something I do often, but it helps me mix things up, like so your membership now gets you more than just the traditional like class that we've always had. You could choose from 3 different types of classes if you want. And again, like the breakdown of the per class, I'm telling you is worth it. And we have a guarantee. We tell you if you sign up for unlimited, because we know you're going to want to come 3 times a week, and you try us for 12 classes in that first month, and you are like, nope, not for me. I tried 12. I don't like it. We give you your money back. Like, it's really that simple. We're asking you to give us a shot for 12 classes for 1 month. You don't love it. Won't be the case.
And it won't be. I
It
know
won't.
one thing we didn't even talk about is not even just like the physical behind it, but like the mental health. Like I know
Yeah.
the days that I don't go to the gym. I do now
Oh,
know Mondays I cannot go. Like I always cancel Mondays, so now I just don't even try and sign up just because I'm like funky on Mondays.
fair
But
enough.
I need it for my mental health. Like I literally truly work out for my mental. Yes, do I want to feel good about my body? And yes, I do. But like it's really the mental health.
Yeah. It's true. And I mean, there's scientific evidence behind it, even like in a what is that, Legally Blonde, where she said, exercise gives you endorphins. It's a true thing. It really is true. Like I'm a firm believer. I think it's one thing to know like what your optimal days are. These are the days for me I know are good to work out, or I have the time, I have the mental space to clear out a chunk of time to go work out. That's important for you to know. Creating a routine is a big deal, but really I don't know that there really is such thing as a bad workout. I think you can go, and again at Orange Theory, you really are allowed to set the tone for your workout. Yes, there's guidance, there's a coach, but you tell us, I am just here, and we will respect that boundary. And we'll even check in on you and be like, are you still feeling okay? Like feeling good with what you're doing? We want you to feel good about it. And I bet you'll walk out feeling even better than what you thought you would when you walked in, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a big deal. I think movement is medicine, truly.
Hmm.
Even on my worst days, even if I don't go to Orange Theory, but I'm having just one of those days, like just you're just not feeling anything. Even just going for a walk, like
Yeah.
is helpful. Just keeping your body moving is so important, and it's so good for you
So good.
mentally.
I literally could talk about this forever.
Yes.
But I do want to touch on your love for Disney.
Let's do it.
Where does this come from? And like,
Oh gosh.
guys, like we have Disney days, and Heather is like dressed to the
I
nine.
go like 1,000% in. Like I put a fork in my hair and I'll sing my lobby intro to like Part of Your World, but I'll change it to Orange Theory things. Oh yeah, I'm all the way in.
The best is when
Oh,
you missed the day and Jack had to sing. Priceless.
that day.
That was
I
worth
mean,
that work. Or
I'm
you didn't
all
miss
about
it.
a theme.
You or Kate missed it. I don't know, but Jack had to
Disney.
sing.
Yeah. No, I'm all about a theme, first of all. I love theme anything. I will come dressed to the nines for any theme day. And I theme everything. I'll theme my lobby intro. I will theme my music as much as I possibly can. My outfit is themed. Everything is themed. So Disney. That just stems from when I was little. And I think that truly though, Disney actually like creeps into my work life. Not literally how we're talking, but like I'll tell you in a minute. But I just think Disney is magical. There's this something about it that it is some of my best family memories growing up. Because families are crazy. But it was like the one time when we like all came together and it just felt magical. And when you walk, for me, even now walking into a park, I think I'm in awe of the engineering behind it. Like I can be in one place and literally not know anything else is going on outside of wherever I'm at. And they've designed it that way. Go to another spot. You don't even know where you just left because you can only see what you're seeing. And the smells, like just the experience aspect. And I am big on experience. Like I told you, I love moments where you can create a magical memory for someone.
Mhm.
Um, and Disney has always done that for me my whole life. So I actually use a lot of that when it comes to like the way I provide service, or the way I provide customer service and the way I coach is this is like you get like the privilege of being part of someone's day for just 1 hour, and you want them to walk away from that 1 hour just feeling like you said, like, oh my gosh, that was amazing, like they want to talk about it to somebody, or we did something cool in the class that was because it was someone's birthday or it was someone's 500th or 5th class even. um I live for celebrations. I live for moments like that. And I think Disney has always done that for me. So being able to like get to translate that a little bit into my work life is great.
I love that. I also, we didn't even go into like sometimes there's like themed
Oh yeah.
challenges that we do, and
Oh
I think
yeah.
it was dry try that we just did a few months ago in Run Apart. I just remember like we were all rooting for each other, and I'll just
Yep.
remember there's a girl that was like she was the last one, and like I like literally it like brings me tears. It was so cool to see her family come in and cheer
Yes.
her on. Like her little girl, her little kids were like, "Go mom!" Like, and I was just like, wow, like people are there to like really truly change themselves. And
Yes.
like I literally get teary-eyed because I'm like, how cool would it be if my kids came in and were like proud of me to see me through that
Yes.
journey? So you guys really do a good job at like creating that moment. And it's like you become like this like little family even as members, like,
Yes.
and I just don't
There.
have that in Santa Rosa yet. I don't know if it's
Yes.
gonna happen,
Yes.
but
Yes.
it's a different vibe there for sure. But
It's busier. It's a little bit, see, like I said, that's one of the things I just appreciate about Rowan Park. It's
yeah.
smaller and a little slower, so I can really like get to know everyone. But I'm gonna say yet. Yeah. I Orange Theory does that really well, right? The events. We have, so it's not just your daily workouts. There are different types of events that happen. We try to do something like every month, if not every other month, to help keep you accountable. Like we just wrapped up marathon month where um, your goal is to run a total marathon distance, but over the course of a month. We don't expect you to do it in a day. So you track your distance every day. And it's kind of exciting to get closer and closer to that final like number that you're reaching. And then you get there and you're like, well, how much further can I go? And you're still motivated to go further. Dry Try is coming. That's actually this month's challenge. September 21st is the one in Roanoke Park. Um, so it's like our indoor triathlon. There's you start with a long distance row, then there are body weight repetitions, 300 repetitions you have to do on the floor of various exercises, and then it ends with a 5K. And I have to tell you, until I was in this role that I'm in now, I was at every single dry try for all of my years being head coach in Runner Park. And every single one of those was just, I was moved in a different way by different people every single time. And I used to do a recap email, like sent out to everybody, like congratulating all the first timers, like thank you to all the people that's your veterans, you've done it before. And then every coach would provide a highlight of their favorite moment. And there was one for me. It was a gentleman, he was a little more overweight, he was older. But he was really into Orange Theory, and we convinced him to try dry try. And yes, he might have been the last person, but every single person that was in his heat got back on the treadmill and ran with him to the end. And he cried. I cried. It was just, and he like gave a little like speech to everybody. He's like, this is something in my life, as a bigger man, I've just never thought I could do anything physically like this. And to know that no one left and everyone stuck around. Oh, it was so amazing.
So good.
But yeah, this is the best time of year, people, if you want to try Orange Theory, because we've got dry try, then we're going to have Hell Week, the biggest event of the entire year in October. It is the biggest, kind of horrific event.
I survived one. I have a shirt somewhere.
We're living to tell the tales, but they are like it's 8 straight days of the most challenging workouts designed for the entire year. And you have to do like 4 out of the 8 and you earn a shirt. And I'm telling you, when you're like out at Target and you're wearing the shirt and someone else is wearing the shirt, you just like lock eyes and you're like, we know what it
I
took
know.
to get this shirt.
I
It's a
think
big deal.
I think the biggest thing is like when people come or they've come as like a guest or something, they're like, "Well, I didn't die." I'm all, "Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't die on these workouts. You might
you don't.
not be able to walk for 2 days after, but I
Yeah.
swear you're not going to die."
No, it really is fine. They're meant to be fun. We end the year really big, and then December we have 12 days of fitness, which is kind of like Hell Week, but not. It's still challenging for the first 12 days of December, but yeah, we have tons of events that keep you engaged and keep you motivated and give you some like good markers to just like track your progress along your way.
Yeah.
So.
Um, is there anything else like in your journey, your health journey, and your career journey that we didn't even talk about? I'm sure if there's any little hidden secrets in there.
I don't know. I feel like we really talked about all of it, honestly. The journey, and I mean that's anything in life, but the journey is never linear. It just, whenever I get asked these questions, I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna go left and then we're gonna make a hard right and then we're gonna do a U-turn and then we're gonna have to go through the roundabout. Like the journey has been a very exciting one. It's been a very fulfilling one. Um, I don't know. I love everything about what I do. And however I landed here, I'm just thankful because I think I am surrounded by, when I'm in the studio, I am surrounded by the best people. I have met some of my like closest friends. And that's like the cool thing too, is the members meet some of their closest friends that they didn't know each other before they started going to Orange Theory. And now they go to brunch every Sunday. Like it's,
Or
you know,
drink mimosas in the parking lot.
yeah.
Or go to 8 Ball after.
Yes, if you decide you want to go to Roner Park, we have like this whole mimosa squad that on Saturdays and Sundays they pop the trunks open and they have like literally if it's a birthday or they're celebrating, she'll like decorate her car with like birthday balloons and stuff. And it's a real thing. And she invites everybody. And I'm like, don't invite the people that are coming in for the workout. Invite the people that are leaving for
Yeah,
the
because we'll never come back out.
Yes. Like, no, you have to invite them on the way out. Crazy lady. But yeah, we have it's a really good group of people and I could not be more thankful. I can't even imagine. Like, I live in Santa Rosa, like walking distance from Cottingtown, but I do make the drive down to Roner Park because that's my people. Like that's my home and my heart. And
I thought about it, and my husband's like, "You are moving to Windsor because you don't want to commute anymore, and now you're gonna go commute to the gym." I'm like, Okay, you're right. So I am gonna try and get down there on like a weekend, like here and there. It's just
Yeah,
now soccer
it's a good.
started, and but I do need to go back down there because I truly miss that team. I miss the
Oh,
coaches so much. Like I'm
I
like
know we miss you too. We really
I'm like
do.
I miss it, but I will get back there. But that's why I wanted you on, just because like I know you had your own health journey. You're super inspiring as a coach, and I really wanted people to learn about Orange Theory, not only like as like what I participate in, but like on a greater picture of like what you're doing now. So
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's big. As like a workout brand, it's strong. And I think there's a reason for that. We really focus on community. We really, in a group setting, try to help you be an individual and to be okay with where you individually are at, which is really hard to do in a group setting. And I think that Orange Theory does it really well. So you won't lose anything by giving it a try. You really should. It's amazing.
I mean, most of the people who've come with me end up signing up. So
Yeah.
you should try it. But you got to
Yeah.
get a bit like 2 times, like I said. The first time you're going to be like, "What the heck was that?"
Yes, you've got to be okay with realizing I don't understand anything. Really, just for your first couple classes, just take it in, have a good time, move your body, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Like the coaches are there to help you feel comfortable with it. And we get it. Like we've all been to our first class before where we did not know anything. I literally didn't understand. The coach was telling me to push, and I think I was walking, and then she'd say all out, and I was basing like you're gonna learn all the lingo over time. So just allow yourself to be new and to learn, and it's okay to be confused a little bit. Everyone is.
It's worth it though. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for telling us your story and inspiring us. And I promise I'll be at a run park soon.
Okay, I believe you. I know. The next time I coach, I will let you know. You
Okay,
have to try to figure out how to be there.
deal, deal. Well, thank you, my friend.
Thank you.